Well, I can't tell you what a joy it is to be here and engage you, not just in the mission that we share through Samaritan ministry, but in the mission we share through Christ. It's really great to be back here. I've actually been in this sanctuary before, never preached in it, but I was a 20-something in Arlington, going to St. John's, Arlington. So some of you old-timers may recall this face, but I dare say most of the faces in your congregation are new to me, but it's great to be back here at Trinity. And I'm especially grateful to your rector, Reverend Kim, for this invitation and opportunity. Reverend Kim and I know each other a bit from before, from my previous time in Washington, but it's been a real privilege to get to know you better, Kim, as we talk about shared mission and the many possibilities there between us. It's also been a real pleasure to get to know Eric Rich, your new partner parish representative for Samaritan Ministry, and he wears several other hats, but he'll tell you about those, or you know those already. He really made this visit possible, and I've had the privilege of sharing a root beer float with him over at Bob and Edith's, as well as a background in the Justice Department. I'm a recovering lawyer, too. That's what I was in my early 20s, a law student and a lawyer, so sort of in circulation around here. So give it up for Eric. He's played already a pivotal role. And Eric, we hope, is going to be joined in this ministry by Janine Yarber, who is not here and preparing for her wedding, as I understand it. So anyway, lift her up as well. So if you missed it, it's hard to miss it because we have a lovely printed presentation of our ministry, a little bit about me, but I'm the new executive director of Samaritan Ministry, and indeed I'm returning to Washington after 11 years as rector of St. Paul's in Paterson, New Jersey, a very multicultural, bilingual parish that I had the privilege of serving, but returning to embrace this great ministry, one in which you share not only as a partner parish, but as a hosting community hosting our Northern Virginia office, which is right next door. Now, I bet some of you didn't know that. Hopefully most of you do, but it's right next door. And among other honors today, I'm honored to have with me Gail Davis, who's the lead caseworker there. Give it up for Gail. Gail, raise your hand. Let's put her down a little bit. Gail was with me in the forum. We had a nice forum conversation before the service, and she'll be here a little bit afterwards as we re-engage everyone. She shares in the liberating casework that we do, that we invite you to share it as well. I'll say more about that in a minute. But today's gospel story actually couldn't provide a more perfect starting place, starting context for the mission that we share at Samaritan with you. And the context for this parable, right? It's a parable, meaning it's a story, but it didn't really happen. But the context for it is Jesus is talking to the Pharisees. You can't figure that out from what you just read or heard. And it's a challenge to the Pharisees who have become pretty comfortable and complacent with their charitable contributions, shall we say. They've been pretty complacent about making, sort of checking the box off and maybe writing the check, but keeping their distance from people who are really struggling, who are really like the poor man Lazarus in the parable. And I suspect many of you know this story. It's a simple but rich story. A nameless rich man is wasting his days, as one translation has it, in conspicuous consumption. Doesn't that sound ominous? Conspicuous consumption, while Lazarus, the